Good morning. My name is Hannah Baines, and I am the Director of Development for the Bell Museum. I'm really excited to be able to provide a video recording for the MOU's annual paper session, and do apologize that I wasn't able to be there in person. My hope today is to walk everyone through a little bit about the Bell Museum. It's an exciting year for us coming up. As well as provide an update on our Seeing Birds exhibition. And we're really excited to announce that MOU is a sponsor of our first full original exhibition in our new building. So as many people know, the Bell Museum was founded in 1872 through a legislative charter that was really tied to preserving, collecting, and interpreting Minnesota's natural resources. So the heart and soul of the Bell Museum is our collections. We do have several faculty curators that hold tenure track positions in the College of Food, Agricultural, and Natural Resource Sciences, as well as the College of Biological Sciences. And I know it looked like from the agenda that you heard from several of them during the annual paper session. On this photo right here, we have Dr. Sushma Reddy, who is our Breckenridge Chair of Ornithology. And ornithology has really been a long part of the Bell Museum's collections. And a lot of that stems from the leadership of the museum being ornithologists. So this partnership is something that's been around for a really long time, and it's very, very exciting for the museum and the university, as well as MOU. Our faculty teach classes to undergraduate as well as graduate students, really making sure that our scientific collections as well as our teaching collections are brought to life on an annual basis. So here we have a great picture of just what it looks like when our students are working with some of our collections. And again, we encourage our students at the university to not only engage with the Bell's collections as a learning and teaching tool, but also to work at the museum. So at the museum, most of the staff that you'll see are actually students at the university, and it provides a great opportunity for students to engage in science communication, as well as for the public to really hear the passion and enthusiasm from our future scientists and ornithologists. I know one of the sessions I was able to hear, one of the presenters mentioned getting into birding at the age of 5, and now they're finishing up their bachelor's degree and hope to move on to a master's. And that's really, again, when I think about the role of the Bell Museum as a critical link to creating a nice pathway for future scientists, that's a great story to tell. The Bell Museum has several key initiatives, and with the new building, we were able to merge with the Minnesota Planetarium Society and bring a planetarium back to the Twin Cities metro area. So this is an image of the Whitney and Elizabeth McMillan Planetarium. It's a fully digital planetarium, and the Bell Museum has really been exploring how we can maximize this immersive learning space. So yes, we take people to the far reaches of the universe, but we're also taking people inside the human brain to see how the brain works. We had another original show where we were looking at Minnesota water stories. So again, really looking at the planetarium as just another tool in our tool belt to tell the story of Minnesota and beyond. The planetarium seats 120 people. During the pandemic, we've reduced that capacity a bit, and obviously we're a fully masked space as well. But again, it's been a really great adventure. And we've also been able to explore, having a performing arts, theater play in the planetarium, as well as different musical events as well. So again, maximizing the space of the new Bell Museum and Planetarium. Another one of our other initiatives is to become a museum without boundaries. And for us, that means a lot of different things. One of those is to make sure that as the state's official natural history museum, we have a commitment to communities across Minnesota, not just in the Twin Cities metro area. And so you can see our phenomenal Bell van outside of a school here. This is a way that we can, again, drive out to greater Minnesota. We do have a mobile planetarium, which we can bring. But in 2021, we also kind of upped the ante and established a new position, the Director of Statewide Engagement, who has been driving all over the state to have conversations with communities and make sure that as we're developing new programs, we're also listening to those communities and really making sure that we can establish new programs together, pilot those, and see if we can continue to make those grow. As part of the University of Minnesota, we're also deepening our connections with the research and outreach centers all across the state. And so I would just encourage everyone to stay tuned, keep watching out for that van, and just know that the Bell, in terms of a resource for all of Minnesota, will continue to become more present as we move forward. Inspiring curiosity and wonder. I have to say, this is one of my favorite photos, and I love the micro eye magnifying microscopes here. Because they allow everyone to just dive in and create some really fantastic intergenerational experiences as well. Before the pandemic, the Bell Museum was actually seeing about 25,000 school children a year. And we're slowly but surely getting up to that level again. The museum on site as well as off site is really a critical link in inspiring curiosity and wonder, and making sure that kids are just aware of their natural resources and their surroundings, and that they ask questions. So we need to make sure that there's a great pipeline for future gophers to be on site at the museum, which is in many cases the first time that they're even on a university campus to begin with. And we don't take that lightly. So the Bell Museum does offer school programs during the academic year, and we also offer summer camps as well. During the pandemic, we did have to shift a little bit and recalibrate, and that led us to creating virtual programs for schools as well as learners of all ages. And this was a really important step for the museum, and we made some big decisions when we were looking at our virtual programs. We decided to offer them as a program for schools that was taught in a synchronous fashion. So when a school is tuning in, or you have some kids in the classroom, some kids who are tuning in from home, they were meeting directly with the Bell educator, and that connection we felt was really critical, not only to creating a better experience for the kids in the classroom, but also making sure that our educators who are experts at what they do could really have a dynamic experience to, again, create opportunities to ignite curiosity and wonder. And those programs are offered free or at a pretty reduced cost. We also looked at ways to engage families at home. And this is a program I'm just thrilled with. These are our STEM science and nature kits. And going into our 150th anniversary year in 2022, we're actually going to be continuing to expand this program. So we provide 3 to 5 hands-on activities that tick all of the STEM boxes. And they give kids and caregivers all of the materials they could possibly need to build a birdseed cookie and then do some observing about what birds come during the winter time, for example, or to build a Mars rover, or build, trying to think of what other ones we've kind of tested, the phases of the moon, for example. But again, all different ways for kids to engage in the sciences at home without making the assumption that they have these materials. We have not been the distributors for the most part of the kits, but instead looked at trusted community partners. So when kiddos were picking up their free and reduced lunch in the Roseville schools, they also picked up a STEM kit. We partnered with Northside Achievement Zone, Among American Partnership, Bidote Learning Center. And again, we're really targeting kids and communities that have been under-resourced. So this summer, we'll be expanding this program to distribute 10,000 kits. And this is something that has been made possible through philanthropy. Okay, now we're getting to the really exciting stuff. So as I've mentioned a few times now, the Bell Museum is going to be celebrating its 150th anniversary in 2022. We have a full year of exciting programs and are really looking at this experience through the lens of understand the past and shape the future. These are just a few of the kind of brand awareness images that you guys will start to see. You're the first public group, I think, to see all of this. So look excited when you start seeing it again. But again, it's something we're really proud of and excited to celebrate with our partners and beyond. So now I'll walk you through our key kind of foundational experiences with our 150th anniversary, as well as a deeper dive into Seeing Birds. So Seeing Birds is the Bell's first full original exhibition outside of what you see in the Minnesota Journeys galleries. This exhibit is really aimed at providing opportunities for visitors to see the connections between the arts, scientists, and active research at the university, as well as our collection. It's going to open on January 28th and will run through October 2nd. And there will be a lot of additional complimentary programs during that time as well. So for those of you who've never seen schematics of an exhibition, which I'm sure is quite a few of you, they're not set in stone yet. It's still in the kind of final phases of development. But we're really trying to make sure that during this period of time, we understand the flow of the space. And in the back end, we're also kind of working on what is the story and what is the interpretation. Our curators, Sushma Reddy, Keith Barker, have been very involved with our exhibits team. And so we'll end up having 10 distinct areas, focusing in on the Bell's ornithological collection, current research, as I mentioned, connections between art and science and how this has changed over time. We'll look at the evolution of birds. And I'm really excited that there will be a whole area where we'll be showing opportunities for visitors to connect and engage in the community with resources around birding. And so I'm hoping that from this 10 months of this exhibit being up, MOU will probably also get a lot of new members, which would be awesome. So I wanted to just call in a few of the exhibition features, which I'm really excited about, and I know our team is really excited about. Looking at bird evolution and adaptive traits. Dinosaurs are coming to the Bell this winter, and so we're all pretty excited about that. But again, this is just another way that we will be really looking at the evolution of birds over time. And I think doing it in a pretty exciting way. So this is going to be through a projection that's fully animated as well. So again, I'm hoping to keep visitors at this space for quite some time, as well as commissioning some new paleo artwork for this exhibit. We will have an overview of the Bell's long history with ornithology, dating back to Bud Tordoff's work. And so again, this is just another opportunity for the Bell to really showcase all of the work in our long history with bird research. We have Sushma in here quite a bit, so I don't want Keith to feel like we're not looking at what he's doing as well. Seeing Birds is really also going to provide an opportunity for us to showcase what bird research looks like in the field and how students are actively engaged in research as well. We're really excited about this piece also, since I think it's something that a lot of our public audience hasn't had the opportunity to see in the past. We will have a DNA interactive, and so Keith's research is really in the DNA space. So again, calling more attention to that in a really engaging way. We'll have an art wall, which will feature some beautiful pieces of our robust nature art collection and illuminate those connections between art and science for the public. Just wanted to touch on a few other pieces. For those who remember the Museum of the Moon a few years ago, the artist Luke Jerram has also created Gaia, what he calls Gaia, and it's a version of the Earth. So this is a 23-foot diameter structure that will be suspended in Horizon Hall this summer. Will be pretty exciting. Next fall, we'll also be bringing a Smithsonian exhibit about narwhals to the Bell Museum. We can't go wrong with a narwhal. And then we will be actually creating a new original planetarium show called Mars, the Ultimate Voyage. And this is actually supported through NASA. So we were excited to receive a NASA grant to create this show, which will open late fall 2022. And again, I just wanted to thank everyone. I do have my contact information up here, and I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person. Please feel free to reach out to me anytime. And if I'm not the right person, I'm happy to find the best person at the Bell Museum to answer questions. We are really thrilled and appreciate our partnership with the Minnesota Ornithologists Union and are excited that we could be here in some form today. Thank you so much.